Reported that a school district police officer confronted the suspect that was making entry. Not accurate. He walked in unobstructed initially. So from the grandmother's house to the bar ditch to the school, into the school, he was not confronted by anybody. To clear the record on that.
Texas law enforcement facing mounting questions over their response to the Robb Elementary School shooting. For the last 2 days, there have been unclear accounts from police that an armed police district officer encountered the suspect. DPS is setting the record straight that is not accurate. The regional director, Victor Escalon, says the gunman entered the school around 11:40 Tuesday morning. Police arrived minutes later. About an hour later, the shooter was killed at 12:40. Today, many details on the timing of events and police response times remain murky, especially why it took an hour to take down the shooter. KENS 5's Vanessa Croy details what we've learned today. Vanessa?
Well, Deborah, we're learning from a law enforcement source that gunman went into Robb Elementary with 7 loaded magazines of ammo. That's enough to fire over 200 rounds. He also had a backpack that they say he dropped somewhere along the way that had enough ammo to shoot another 400 rounds. And police say today that gunman got in the school through an unlocked door. Now let me show you where we're standing right here. You can see just past a blue canopy in the back of the school. That's where the gunman wrecked in some kind of drainage ditch, and a few minutes later walked into the school through that unlocked door in the back of the building. Now let's go back to what started these horrific chain of events according to DPS. They say around 11:28 Tuesday morning, the gunman shot his grandmother and then took off in her truck. A few minutes later, he wrecked the truck. Investigators say the gunman then jumped out of the passenger side with a long-arm rifle and a bag of ammo. He fired shots at 2 people near a funeral home across the street and then starts walking toward the elementary school. He climbs a fence and fires more rounds at the school building. Well, DPS says at 11:40, the gunman walks into the west side of the school. And they learned all this through campus surveillance video that shows the gunman firing more rounds inside the building. They say 4 minutes later, investigators say that school district officers confronted the gunman, but he kept shooting. Those investigators say those officers took cover and called for a force of backup help.
During that time that they're making those calls to bring in help to solve this problem and stop it immediately, they're also evacuating personnel. When I say personnel, students, teachers. There's a lot going on, a lot complex situation.
Now we're learning the gunman then starts walking down the hallway, makes a few turns, and went into that classroom. The doors open. That's when he barricaded himself inside that room with the children. The Border Patrol Special Tactical Unit got to the school just before noon, and sources tell us the team couldn't get into the room because of the construction of the school and had to get a key from the principal to get inside. Well, one agent entered that room with a shield while other agents followed the gunman, still shooting at those agents. Well, one of the agents fired back and took down the gunman. All of those agents are doing well tonight. They were not seriously injured. Now, I'm learning too, when I arrived here on Tuesday, it was less than an hour that when agents took down that gunman. Now, while I was walking up, I do want to show you, I was walking over to the sidewalk. I could only get as far as that curb, but I saw many law enforcement officers walking from the back of that school, visibly shaken and upset. Now, some of those officers who responded on Tuesday, we're learning, had children and family inside that school. A deputy with Uvalde County Sheriff's Office lost his daughter on Tuesday, and an officer with Uvalde CISD lost his wife, a teacher here at Robb Elementary. Eva Morales died protecting her students. In Uvalde, reporting live, Vanessa Croy, KENS 5.